Why? What am I gonna? What is this on here? This screen is filthy. Man, I gotta clean it. Clean it. Damn. And I got to call the Apple people. Can I call them? Can I get a appointment at the Berkeley Apple store? See if I can get an appointment. Are we live? I guess so. Y'all just ain't here. 4th Street. Ah, I didn't bring a pen. Two people here. Hey, y'all. I should have brought a pen. Am I gonna remember if I call and they ask me and they tell me I can get an appointment? You think I'll remember? What time they close? What time they close? Oh, they don't close till 7. I'll just go there tomorrow. Cause my iPhone. Hey, Phoenix. My iPhone is having storage issues, and I took it in yesterday to the T-Mobile place, and they looked at it, and I don't know what he did, but whatever he did, it made it worse. So now I can't even, if I'm trying to record a video, the phone just cut off and give me this storage full message. And it wasn't doing that yesterday. So because now it's saying that my storage is 119.2 gigabytes of 128, and it wasn't that high yesterday. So I don't know what that dude did. He said he moved some stuff around, but he must have moved it around wrong, and he made the storage situation worse than what it was. So I'm gonna take it to the Apple store. You know how sometimes you just gotta go to, you gotta go to the source. You can't be going to the T-Mobile place because these people don't know half-ass what they doing. And then the T-Mobile dude kind of pissed me off because he was like, "Oh, are you waiting for whoever the lady was that was working there?" And I was like, "I'm waiting for whoever can help me." And he was like, "Oh, because I'm trying to do services that's gonna make me some money. You're working. You're on the clock. Aren't you making money?" And I just don't think that was something you should have said to a customer. Like, I'm a customer. You should work. You wait on everybody that come through the door. So, he already had a strike against him. But he was a nice person. He handled me in a nice manner after that. But I think he jacked up my phone even more. You can tell when people don't know what the hell they doing. Because when I was telling him what was going on, he had this look on his face like, I don't know what the fuck to do. He looked at it and was like, "Oh yeah, well your storage is not that full." So all of a sudden, now it is full. So I don't know. I'm gonna take it to Apple. And don't look at my hair because I'm having a bad hair day. I took it upon myself to roll my hair up last night with sponge rollers. See, this is my problem. This is Free Friday. We're gonna talk about anything. I don't care what we talk about. Let me tell y'all this story. About 10 or 11 o'clock, I get the most craziest ideas. 10, 11 o'clock at night, I be trying on ball gowns and putting on wigs and earrings and taking pictures and having full on fashion shows. 10, 11 o'clock at night. I decides to roll my hair up with some damn sponge rollers. And when I took them sponge rollers out this morning, I look like a zip damn fool. Do you hear me? Zip damn. So I had to spray my hair with some leave-in conditioner to get them tight ass curls. So the janky part was when I got to about right here, I ran out of rollers. So this part was straight. And all of this was curled up tight to my head. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea. But let me tell you, it wasn't. Okay? It just was not. And I guess I done stressed my hair out, put them in them rollers, and now not only does it not feel good, it just, I don't know. And my head is sore from sleeping on them hard ass sponge rollers last night. Like my head feels tender. Cause my head ain't used to that. I don't put on no bonnets. I don't do nothing to my hair at night. I don't know why I don't even know why I thought that was gonna be cute. I was thinking, oh, it's gonna kind of look like an afro. It didn't. It didn't look a damn thing like an afro. Hey RJ, hey Kim. I look like a fool. Okay? Phoenix said, I don't even bother curling my hair is so sensitive to water. The only curl that really worked was flat twist and Bantu knots. Bantu knots, I be trying to do Bantu knots with this. It don't be working. I just be looking, when I take them out, I just be looking crazy. I don't know. My hair is, I don't know. And I think I'm about to let my gray grow back out. I've been watching this other lady and I've been watching people going through their gray journey. Well, hold on. Let's talk about, what's that woman name? Bryant. What's her name? Carolyn Bryant. Let's dog her out. Let's piss on her grave for a good 5-10 minutes. Do you know that somebody had the audacity to leave a message talking about, oh, well, we should have grace, and it took everything I had not to cuss out that woman. I don't know who it was. I don't know if she one of my subscribers that come every now and then or just some random ass person. What grace am I going to give Carolyn Bryant? What grace? I hope she is tormented and tortured by every demon God has created on this earth. I hope that her journey, when she transitioned, I hope her body was getting hit when she was going through the tunnel between life and death. I hope her body hit every wall, every crack, every crevice. I hope she gasped for air as she was dying. I hope it was horrible. I hope her death was horrible. I hope her eyes rolled in the back of her head, everything. Because what Emmett Till had to endure while he was alive, a child who was probably screaming for his mother, for somebody to help him. I hope every demon in hell came for Carolyn Bryant and drug her ass to hell. I hope they drug her to hell. I hope the demons stuck their tail up her butt, hot and everything. Grace, are you crazy? That bitch don't deserve no grace. I had to get that out. I had to. And I think watching the movie Teal just made me even more angry. I was already, this situation already angers me. But watching that movie, I think angered me even more. She don't deserve no grace. Because she never even came out and apologized. She never, said anything. She never apologized to Emmett Till's mother. She didn't apologize because she knew if she apologized, that could set her up for going to jail. So, grace? No, you get no grace from me. Grace is from God. In these kind of situations, God is the only one that can give you grace. I ain't that much of a Christian. And Emmett Till wasn't even my child. But as a mother, So don't come over here telling me that I should have grace for this woman. I don't have no grace for her. Now y'all white folks can get together and cry you some white tears and let that be. But don't come over here with that shit. Don't do it. This one of them situations where y'all need to go and cry and have whatever it is you need to do to heal and leave us the hell alone. Let us deal with this the way we want to. I hope she was tormented. I really do. I hope she had that super hard ass death rattle for days before she left here. Her husband was murdered too. I don't think they touched on that in the movie. Music Lover 29 said, I hope she burned in hell. I do too. I do too. And like I said last night, I hope Mamie Till, I hope Jesus said, Mamie, go on down there. Here she come. And I hope Mamie went down there and put hands on her. Mamie, she coming. I hope Mamie at least they let her get in one good lick before they drug her ass to hell. Yeah, let him get him a couple of licks in too. Oh, he was a war hero. So he was killed in the war then. Was he killed in the war? Oh, okay. But she remarried though. She remarried after Emmett's death. She remarried, but she didn't have any more kids. So, and that's sad too. That she didn't. I don't know if she couldn't have any more kids or she just didn't want to have any more kids. That was her only child. Her only child. And she loved him. She like doted over him. She like spoiled him. Yeah, that was her only child. She spoiled him. You know what I mean? She was one of those mothers that doted over her child. I think it's different when you only have one child and you only gonna have one child, because that's how my mother was with me. Like She dressed me up all the time. Like we could just be going to the grocery store and she dressed me up. She did my hair. Everything was a production for my mother. This is how I felt. For her, it wasn't because she just loved me. I was just her only child, and she put a whole lot of energy into me. But I always felt like everything was a production, like she was, like I was some show animal or something. You know how the prize winning. You know how they take these dogs, these show dogs, these A1C certified show dogs, how they take them first in show and they all, hair all nice and everything. That's how I felt every time I left the house. Because it was bows, barrettes, lace socks, shiny shoes, just all the time. Like I was always cute. And my mother loved the fact that people would be like, "Oh, every time I see your baby, she's so pretty. Oh, you always have her dressed so nice." My mother, that's what she lived for. And of course, being the weird child that I was highly irritated because all them bows and barrettes and ribbons and purses and patent leather and lace and stuff irritated my whole entire soul. But it made her happy. My Emmett Till's mom reminded me so much of my mother. And had something happened to me like my mother, had I been killed so violently, I believe it would, my mother would have been the same way. Like she wouldn't have had no more kids. She would have been just like Emmett Till's mom. She would have, been by herself and just had my memory. That's why even as a teenager, I was so particular about what I did because I never wanted anything to happen to me and my mother be left by herself. Like that was always my prayer because I knew if something happened to me, how hurt my mother would be. I knew it. I just was like, Lord, don't let nothing happen to me because it's going to kill my mama. And that was how, Mamie was with Emmett. That was her only child and she doted on him. She loved that little boy. And what that witch did followed that. I was her baby alive. Okay? I was her baby alive. Like she loved me. She loved doing my hair and picking out clothes. I mean, there was like a little time when I got like a little bit older that I enjoyed shopping. When she finally started to let me have my own style, then I started to enjoy shopping because then I understood, okay, we can go shopping and mama's going to bust that credit card out and I'm going to be able to, get, she only let me go so far with the style thing. Like I couldn't go crazy till I was an adult. But she started to let me get some things that I like. Yeah, but you're not making it about race because this thing is about race. This is about race. This is not one of those things where we're pulling the race card. This is about race. This is a white woman that had a black child killed. I don't really, hey, Dark Goddess, I don't like to pull the race card in all situations, but this is clearly race. This is a white woman that did something that caused a black child to be killed by a mob of white men with a few black accomplices. There were some black men there also that night, but they were there because they were scared for their lives. If they didn't do what them white men wanted them to do, they could be dead. That was why Emmett Till's grandfather and his uncles and stuff didn't retaliate, because they knew if they did, they were going to die. And the rest of their family was going to die. So that the situation was just horrible. They knew that if they retaliated, if they said anything, or if they did anything or tried to stop, that they were all going to die. Because then white people was going to kill them all. Probably burn down their house and everything else. So it's just, it's just a sad situation. And I just hate the fact that this woman lived 80. And I'm really hoping that, her 88 years, I'm hoping that she was tortured even while she was alive. I know her last years weren't that good because people were out to find her. Her name was popping up in the news. People had went to a nursing home looking for her. They was looking for her ass. So I know her last years, her last months on this earth was probably scary. She was like, these folks trying to kill me. They was looking for her. They were going to nursing homes looking for her. I know her old ass was scared to death. But who cares? Who cares other than her family? Shit. I wish they had caught her and beat the brakes off her ass. That's what happened was what happened during those times. I'm pretty sure Emmett Till, his story just made national news because he was a child. But I'm pretty sure that shit had happened before, and the other families, they just, dealt with it. Because that level of racism is what black people had to, deal with during that time. Like even my father-in-law is 82 years old. He says that he remembers when you couldn't even make eye contact with white people. You couldn't even look them in their eye. Like if you were on the sidewalk with them, you had to get off the sidewalk to give them the street. And don't look them in the eye. You had to look. If they were, walking, you had to look down. So you didn't make eye contact with them. The fuck? So I wish he would. I wish I could. I want my husband to get my father-in-law to. If y'all see me rubbing the shoulder, my shoulder is acting up again. I'm not gonna say that. I almost said something, but I'm not gonna speak that into existence. But child, my shoulder is acting up again. So if you see me rubbing it, just know I got arthritis and it's bothering me. If my nose is running, it's allergy season. And I'm sitting out here and the wind is blowing just enough to be moving this pollen around, but it feels good. Yeah, or walk on the other side of the street. You couldn't walk where white people were walking. You couldn't walk with them. You couldn't make eye contact with them. And my mother was born in 1917. So we all know that, of course, that's not my biological mother. I was adopted. And, her talking about what it was like growing up, some of the stuff that happened to her, I just can't even believe it. You know, I can't fathom them not going to the doctor, or them just having somebody black that was not really a doctor, but they, were kind of like their doctor. And my mother had a baby when she was 16, and that caused her, because she had a baby with a midwife, and I guess, the midwives, they did what they could. The baby didn't survive. And she said that, okay, so she didn't see a doctor until she came out here to California in the 50s. And she said that the doctor told her part of the placenta or something must have caused an infection in her uterus. But, midwives back then, they didn't know. They were doing the best that they could. Okay? She delivered the baby in the cotton field, not even in the hospital. So it was a lot of stuff going on. She said she didn't even know she was having the baby. She knew she was pregnant, but she didn't know she was having the baby until it was too late. She had been working all day, and then here come a baby. But you 9 months pregnant, and you in the cotton field, because you have to be. You can't just stay home because you pregnant. All of that kind of stuff. I'm like, I was pregnant with both of my kids when I got to close to 9 months. I was off work. My doctors took me off work. I was at home with my feet up. My feet was all swollen. My back was hurting. My fingers was swollen up. My blood pressure was high with my first. So I was at home on bed rest. The beginning of my 9th month, they were like, stay home. Stay your butt at home. You stay home. Can you imagine? You 9 months pregnant and you in the cotton field in Louisiana picking cotton for the white man? That's what we had to deal with. And then didn't even have a doctor. She couldn't even go to the hospital. I said, so what did they do after you had the baby? She said, I went in the house after I had the baby. The baby was dead. The baby died. So they was basically like, your baby dead. Wipe your behind, sit down. Tomorrow you can get up and go back to work. Oh, tomorrow we'll see how you feel. Say what? She was like, yeah. The baby passed away, and they act like nothing happened. She said her dad was mad anyway that she was she was having a baby. So since the baby passed, they act like it wasn't no baby. And the next couple of days, I think she said they let her rest for a few days, and after that, get on back out there in that cotton field. And don't do that again. So, yeah, that's, she had a lot of stories. She had a lot of childhood trauma. A lot of childhood trauma. My dad was born in 1939. They didn't drink Coke. They had to drink RC Cola. That was the black man's soda. I don't think they really drank a lot of soda until they didn't. My mother wasn't really a soda person. And they didn't have a whole lot of stuff until, until she like married my dad and they moved from Louisiana because they lived in Bastrop, Louisiana. Well, Baton Rouge. She was born in Baton Rouge. And then they moved to Bastrop. And it really wasn't a whole lot of, I think it's a farming area. Back then it was. I don't know what it is now. They did a lot of farming. And you don't make a whole lot of money from that. So I think my mom, they moved to Florida. If you don't shut up. And my mom went to school to be a CNA. And after she got CNA certified, my dad, well, while she was getting CNA certified, my dad had found out that the Southern Pacific Railroad out here in California was hiring. So he came out here to California, left her in Florida. He came out here to California, got the job, and got an apartment for them, bought a car. He was out here for a minute, hustling, doing, really getting it together. So when she came out here, she had a place to stay, she had a car to drive, and then all she had to do was get a job. So she ended up getting a job as a CNA. My dad was working on the railroad. They was making, good money. They had like 2 cars. She had a new car. He bought her a new car. He had a used car. But they was doing it. Like for black people back then, they was doing it. Lived in a decent neighborhood and stuff. So 1960, I was born in 64. I was born in 64. My dad must have got sick in 67 because he died in 68. Yeah. So 67, I think he got sick. In 68, he passed away. But he had worked long enough for me to be able to, okay, so crazy story. They hadn't adopted me yet, but God saw fit for him to live long enough to sign the adoption papers. They hadn't went through, but he had signed the adoption papers as my father. And he died a couple of months before the adoption was finalized. But I still was able to get his last name, to, draw his Social Security, because he had worked for the railroad long enough for me to draw his Social Security. So that, really helped out with my mom. Like, my mom was still working and stuff. But I got a check every month from my dad, I got survivor's benefits. I got money, and I think my mom got a little bit after she retired. So we survived. I mean, gosh, I really would have wanted him to survive, so I would have had a mom and dad. But my mom was she took care of me. She said, before my dad died, she said, I promised him that I would do everything in the world to take care of you. And she did. She fulfilled her promise. And when she got older, when I got older and stuff, I told her, I said, you did everything you promised Daddy you would do. You were a great mom. That's one thing. I wanted her to, when she got older, and we both knew she was sick, and she was like, I don't want I don't want to be on no life support or anything like that. She had a do not resuscitate order in place, and I knew that and I understood it. And I just wanted her to know you did everything you could for me. You were a great mother, and I appreciate everything. But I always told my mom that, I appreciated everything when we talked. We always said we loved each other. We talked a lot. So I think she understood that, I know she did everything in her power, for me as a mother. I don't think my kids feel the same way about me. Y'all newfangled kids, y'all different. Y'all be on some bullshit. For real. Some of y'all do. Y'all, the generation, my kids' generation, y'all be on some bullshit. Y'all be on some finger pointing, complaining. You ain't did enough for me. You should have did this. I didn't have that. Like, y'all don't have any compassion for your parents. You don't understand that we weren't perfect. My mother wasn't perfect. She did a lot of things that got on my nerves. But I don't highlight those things in my mind. I don't want to remember the bad things. Yes, I got spankings, but I'm not traumatized behind the times that my mother spanked me. And some of the things that she spanked me for, I really don't think I should have got a spanking for, but I did. But I didn't tell her, after I got older, yeah, I remember that time. I remember this one time. Certain things I remember. I remember this one time. My mom had bought me a new bike. Now, I always thought that I was bad. And my mama didn't know this. My mother always thought that I was this really sweet, innocent, God-fearing child. This, halo on my head and everything. This is the child my mother felt like she raised. In these streets, I was a bad ass, would cuss you out. I was cussing and throwing rocks at people and climbing up in people's trees, getting peaches and plums. That was me. I would just come home clean. I wasn't a dirty kid, but I was out here doing some dirt though. If a kid said something to me, I wanted all the smoke. What? What you say? What you say? So, my mother had bought me a new bike. And she told me, don't go around the corner because them big kids will try to take your bike from you. And I'm in my mind, I'm saying, I wish they would. I wish them kids would try to take my bike. They try to take my bike, I'ma fight. LaShawna, don't go around that corner because them crazy kids around there. I was like, all right then, brand new bike. I'm about to show this bike off, right? So what did I do? I went right on around that corner because I wanted everybody to see my new bike. Look what I'm riding up on. I'm just riding. I'm riding. First, I was just riding up and down my street. I'm going to show off to everybody on my street. Then something said, go around that corner. Ain't nobody looking. just go around the corner real fast. I go around the corner, then one of my friends around the corner, so I had to stop. Oh, you got a new bike? Yeah, girl, look at my bike. Whoa, whoa, whoa. We chatting it up and everything. I was like, oh shit, I've been around here for a minute. Let me get back on my street. I'm riding. I'm riding. I'm riding. Just, ha ha, yeah, they done seen my new bike. I'm the shit. I'm about to be the talk of the town. Everybody in the West know I got a new bike. Come around the corner, guess who's standing there? My mama. She was like, get your behind in that house. I'm riding off slow and stuff. I'm like, God damn. Why you don't keep your ass in the house and fry that chicken or something? You ain't got nothing to do. Ain't them pork chops on the stove? You out here looking at me. Ah, God damn. So I get to the steps. And you know, this bike is heavy. This is a new bike. And she was like, drag it up the steps. I ain't helping you. I was like, you ain't even gonna help me? She was like, I didn't help you ride around the corner, did I? You big and bad enough to go around the corner, drag that bike in the house. So after I dragged the bike in the house, she whooped me. She whooped me. She was like, oh, you grown now? You grown? After I specifically told you not to go around that corner, you went around there anyway? You grown, huh? Let's see how grown you are. I don't think I deserved a whooping for that. I think we could have just had a civil conversation. She could have just, we could have just sat down and I could have just explained to her that the people that needed to see that bike were around the corner. Obviously, nothing happened. I can fight. I be out here fighting these people. You just not knowing. I will fight. I can call over some of the people that I didn't have to fight with. We could have sat down and had that conversation. I believe we could have. But my mama chose violence. Now, do you think that I was bringing that up to her when she was alive? Remember that time you whooped me because I went around the corner? No. I just took that on the chin and kept going. I got my ass whooped. But I did tell her that I can't go around the corner without any problems. No one's going to bother me. They're definitely not going to take my bike. Because I was stout back then. I was stout. I was bigger than most of the kids, my peers. I was stout. So if you take my bike, you're going to have to take me. So she didn't whoop me again over me riding around the corner. But she did. She whooped me. But I don't bring that up in conversation and talk about how traumatized I was. Because everybody got whoopings back then. That was the thing. Your parents whooped you when you disobeyed. But see, this generation of kids who have absolutely no respect for their parents talk to their parents like they all on the same level. You're not on the same level as an adult. That's the problem now with these kids in school. They feel like they're on the same level with these adults. That's why they can run up on them and want to fight them so quick. There is no respect. What time is it? I swear to God, if my husband locked me out this house again. Wait a minute. Hold on. Because if he locked me out, I'm... Oh, don't lock that door. Cause he got a habit of forgetting that I'm out here, and he will lock the door and he go to work. I'm effed up. I don't have my key. I don't even think the key work on the back door. Oh, but I could go out the gate and go around to the front of the house if I had my key, but I don't have my key. But anyway, y'all are not teaching your children to have respect for authority. I understand this whole gentle parenting concept. I understand it. And if gentle parenting is for you and it works with you and your child, I'm happy for you. But you still need to be teaching your children a level of respect when it comes to dealing with adults and authority. And if they don't learn it at home, where else are they going to learn it? The teachers don't have time to teach all that. So you got to teach your kids that at home. You have to teach them to have some type of level of respect for authority. These kids, this generation is starting to scare me. Because this generation is going to be our CNAs and our doctors and our nurses, and they don't care about other people at all. Y'all are raising a bunch of selfish people. And it's scary. I be seeing so many little kids on TikTok. I seen a video of a little boy. He couldn't have been more than 5 years old on TikTok yesterday. And I don't know if the person that was filming was his sister, but he was like, "Don't you touch my iPad." And the girl was like, "What you gonna do?" He said, "I dare you. I dare you touch it. I dare you." And so the person was coming towards him, and that little boy was I didn't snatch my damn earring out. That little boy snatched his earpods out his ear like, I will knock you out. And these are the things that y'all think are funny. That kind of stuff ain't funny because these little bad kids got to go to school. That's why we ain't got no teachers. Hey, Moth Mama. They can gentle parent and teach respect without fighting their kids. Right. Right. You can gentle parent and teach your children to have respect for other adults. Have respect for you and adults that they have to come in contact with. We are losing teachers. After a while, y'all gonna be homeschooling your kids because don't nobody want to teach them. Phoenix said, "My mother was an abuser, though." You can lead your children, and I think there's a middle ground between authoritarian and passivity. Yeah, but you have to teach them, though. You have to teach them. And you are the authority while you at home. The kids are under your authority. You are the authority. You set the rules and stuff. You are the adult. And kids need to understand that. I'm the adult. You are the child. One person said, "Oh, I hated that. When y'all grew up, when the boomers and what is it, Gen X or Gen Z, when they grew up, kids were to be seen and not heard." And I believe that to a certain extent. Because when adults are talking, children should be in another room. They shouldn't be up in adults' faces in adult conversations. That's why you have kids now who know what Oh, everything. Oh yeah, Cardi B was out here stripping. Yeah, she was on a pole and they, did it in the butt, and I know what a butt plug is and all this kind of stuff. They know all this stuff at 6 and 7 years old. That's because they sitting around adults while they're talking in adults conversation. They know what cigars are. They know what weed is. They know how to roll a blunt. They know everything at 8 and 9 years old. They know what Hennessy is. They know, all the different drinks. These young kids know more than I do. That's because y'all letting them sit in your face and listen to your conversation and watching what you and Pookie and Ray Ray doing instead of going in their damn rooms when you got company. Moth Mama said, I homeschool because I don't trust the government. All y'all gonna be homeschooling in a minute when all these teachers quit. Because they ain't paying these teachers enough to be fighting y'all kids. They not paying them enough for that. And I don't blame them not one bit. I gotta try change sides because the sun is starting to come on that side. They not they not paying these teachers enough to deal with these kids. A lot of these kids have undiagnosed anger issues. They have things going on in the homes that they are coming to school taking out on their teachers. A lot of these kids are, do have undiagnosed issues. And a lot of y'all parents are, don't want to be, they don't have the time to really delve into what's going on with their child, or they just don't care. I don't hit my child, but he's respectful and teachers and mentors love him. Well, you probably do other things. I'm pretty sure you spend time with him and talk to him. A lot of people don't, they don't talk to their kids. They don't spend time with their kids. And their kids don't have a level of respect. Phoenix, don't you also have your husband? Your child has a father in the home. And I really believe that when a child has, especially a male child has a father in the home, that makes a huge difference also. Especially if the father is a positive role model. Yes, you have to teach respect. The kids are not, they don't, I don't fault the kids in these situations. I fault the parents. I really do. And a lot of it, I fault the parents because the kids haven't been taught. They don't know how to control their anger. They haven't even been taught about anger. It's okay to get mad, but it's what you do with that anger. And if a child sees their parent going off and cussing and, getting enraged every time they get upset, well, the kid feels like, oh, well, that's how I'm supposed to handle anger. My mama go off, so I go off too. When I think of authoritarian styles of parenting, I think of my dad who just barked orders and hit me. But there was no talk of feelings or family therapy for issues that we had. Now, my mother, we talked. We did talk. Like, even if she whooped me, she never beat me. Her whoopings was just like, pow, pow, pow. And then that would be it. Go to your room. And then I would have to like stay in my room, She would call me out for dinner. I would get to eat dinner, and then I would probably have to go back in my room. Like I couldn't watch TV. I couldn't play. I couldn't, do anything. But she did talk to me, and her talking was always, I don't want you to be a child that gets in trouble. You know what I mean? I want you to be, all of these things. Like that stuff was constantly drilled into my head. And you know what's funny is me and my husband are the same. We're the same age. My mother was older than his parents, but they all in the same generation. So all of the stuff that was drilled into his head as a kid, he said it came from his dad, but it was all the same shit my mother was saying to me. It just came from my mom. We both grew up the same basic way. We both heard the same things about, being respectful, being my husband, he said his dad always told him to, do it right the first time. All of those same things that, my mother told me. Keeping a clean house, don't no man want no dirty woman, and, all of these things that, my mom was trying to prepare me for being a wife, being a mother, all those things. I grew up learning how to do, how to keep the kitchen clean, how to clean up after dinner, how to, you don't want to wake up in the morning and have to clean up to cook breakfast. So you make sure your kitchen is spotless before you go to bed at night. All of those things. Pick up, the living room and everything before you go upstairs at night. Clean your room every day. Make sure your room stay clean. Stay on your hygiene. Make sure your drawers is clean. Make sure when you go out you at least got enough money to make a phone call. All of these things. But, I noticed that this generation, you're not preparing your kids for the outside world. I was not allowed to have opinions or a voice. See, I mean, I was allowed to have an opinion to a certain degree, and my opinion had to be the opinion of a child. I wasn't allowed to have the opinion of an adult. Like my mother's thing was always stay in a child's place. That was one of her sayings. Kids stay in a kid's place. And I did. If I wanted to say something, I basically had to kind of like bite my tongue when I dealt with my mother because I knew how she was. And I didn't want to be disrespectful. I didn't. I wanted to be a good kid. So I did bite my tongue a lot. There were things I wanted to say, but something in my brain was like, don't say that. Shut your damn mouth. Okay? Because we going to want to go outside tomorrow. So it was shit I wouldn't say. I model respect for my kids and their autonomy, but we have boundaries and consequences. And I think you should. There should be consequences for children's poor behavior. Don't just let your kids act a fool in the house, because if they act a fool in the house and see that there are no consequences, they're going to think, okay, that's how life is. I'm going to go out here and act a fool too. But then when you get out in the real world, you see there are consequences, and then the kid get mad and be like, well, what the hell? That's because your mother or father has never shown you that there are consequences in the real world. Your ass will go to jail. Your young ass will go to jail if you do wrong. It's also cultural differences. When you have a black child, you are concerned for their safety in society in a different way. If they won't listen to you, it's dangerous outside the home. You are so right, especially for a black male. And if you are not teaching your child, they don't know. And if you're not, and I know it's easy for a kid to get irritated, but sometimes you have to really be drilling this in your kid's head. Because when they get with their peers, they're going to want to act a certain way. But you have to tell them. You, especially if their peers are white. Now, now Philip may be able to get away with some of those things. But you not. They gonna take you to jail. They gonna call Philip's mama to come pick him up. But they gonna take you to jail. And you need to tell your kids that. For real. You need to get them to understand the real truth in America. That you can't be out here acting a fool. Wilding out because your friends do it. You know, my husband, he works in the transportation, and he said it's even in this area that we live in, and we live in a very affluent area. Some of the black children out here get around these other kids and just act crazy, knowing that they live in, it's not too many houses over here where we live under 700,000. Okay? So, you know that this is a decent area. But he said some of the kids over here, it's not just the black kids. He said every now and then you get some of these little white kids that are just as bad. Just get out here and just, act the fool. And if Philip is a troublemaker, then maybe he's not safe to hang out with. But see, your kids don't understand that because they friends with Philip. Because Philip is cool. But Philip ain't gonna get in trouble. And if he do, Philip, mama and daddy probably know the judge. And then here you go. Your mama got to get you out of trouble. Now they didn't call Philip's mama to come pick him up, and he fine. But you going down to the juvenile detention center. They gonna lock your little black butt up just on GP. I don't believe in beating your children and abusing your children. Please don't, go off thinking, oh, almost shouldn't want us to beat our kids. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying prepare your children for life. Prepare your children for the real world. Teach your children consequences and respect. Because this world is going, a lot of these videos that I see with these little kids cursing and, just doing some of the craziest things. And people think that shit is funny. But a two-year-old calling their mama a bitch, you think she gonna forget? She not gonna forget that. It's funny at 2. Shut up, bitch. At 2, you thinking it's funny. How you laughing? She said bitch. She's so cute. But when she get 14 and tell you to shut up for real, is it gonna be cute then? No. No, then you gonna be mad. Then you gonna want to fight her. when you should have stopped it when she was 2. I wish one of my kids would have, at 2 years old, told me to shut up, bitch. My kids didn't cuss in the house. Now I'm pretty sure they was cussing, when they was little on the street with their little friends and stuff, but they didn't do it in the house. I know Gizmo mad because he in the house. He want to be out here so bad so he can see who it is barking. What time is it? I'm going to go in the house in a minute because my husband going to be going to work. How did we get here? I don't know, child. I said y'all can talk about anything. I don't care what we talk about. If this conversation is too heavy for you, because I know that, some of you, what I don't like is a lot of people don't like people my age. Y'all, some of you have this stigma against. Now I'm on the tail end of the baby boomers. I think that they supposed to be changing because me and my husband are only 8 months apart, but he's Gen Z, I think. I think they supposed to be changing this last part because I think I'm supposed to be in with them. I'm supposed to be Gen Z because me and him are exactly the same. We only 8 months apart, but I'm a boomer because I was born in '64. Boomers end in '64. I'm the last of the baby boomers. My husband was born in '65. We're the same person though. We grew up the exact same. There's no difference in between him and me. We grew up the same. We had the same toys. We watched the same shows. I'm trying to see. Okay, so baby boomers are from 1946 to 1964. And I don't think I should be in there with them old people. Because I ain't one of them. I'm not one of them. I'm young. I should be in there with, what is it, Gen X? I think I should be in there with them. Because I'm still young. Shit. But anyway, it's not Gen X. What is it? What's the generation after baby boomers? Oh yeah, it is. Gen X. 1965 to 1980. I should be in here with them. I shouldn't have been the tail end of the baby boomers. But anyway, since I'm a baby boomer, I hear so many people hate baby boomers because I guess they had the older generation parents who really didn't take no shit. And I'm not like them. I don't feel like I was as bad as they were. I think because I'm more closer to Gen X. I went to college. So I had, studied early childhood development and all of that kind of stuff. So my kids got a more educated parent than the way my mother parented me. But because I'm older, I get thrown in that generation and I get that baby boomer hate because some of y'all had bad baby boomer parents that beat y'all and abused y'all, and I ain't that. And I hate to be, lumped in with the boomers because the boomers get so much. The boomers be out here getting daggers thrown at them. Please take me. Please, I should have. I'm Gen X. I'm just gonna put myself back a year. But I already told my husband that I'm not turning 60 by myself. Me and him we gonna have a party together. We gonna have to meet because I'm not gonna be 60. I'm not leaving 50 by myself and turning 60 because okay. So we the same age right now. We will be the same age until August. So we're both 58 right now. So I'm super happy because I love this period of time when we're both the same age. Because in August, my husband will go back to saying, "Oh, I got an older woman." Oh, I'm out here. I got an older woman. I got a more experienced woman. I got an older woman. Boy, we are 8 months apart. So I'm when we both turn 60, some kind of way we gonna do it together. Cause I'm not turning 60 by myself. I'm not gonna do it, girl, because I'm not a boomer. When I realized, because I knew about the baby boomers all of my life, but I didn't think I was one of them. When I found out, when I researched and found out that I was one of them, do you know how depressed I was? I was like, I'm a boomer? I'm a baby boomer? I was depressed. I literally almost lost my shit. I was like, oh my God, let me take a drink. I could not believe I was a fucking baby boomer. Of all things in the world, why, Jesus, why me? I almost had a heart attack. I'm a boomer? Me? No. And then my husband wasn't. And he was happy. He was like, yeah, I'm not a boomer. I'm not a boomer. I'm a boomer. The last year. The last year. I had to get it. That's because my mama was out here being fast. Her fast tail ass getting pregnant in high school. Why she couldn't wait? My husband's mama waited until she got married. But my mama out here being fast. Fast tail, light skinned gal out here running around with these boys and got pregnant in high school. Walked across the stage pregnant with me. I graduated from the same high school twice. I had to graduate from the same school that my mama graduated from. I didn't want to go to that school. I wanted to go to another school. But I wanted to go to that school so I could say that I graduated from the same high school 2 times. My mama carried me across the stage the first time, and the second time I walked across the stage on my own. And my drunk mama was there, my biological mama, drunk as pissy ass drunk. But she showed up. She showed up drunk, crying drunk. Like they was trying to console her and everything. They had to take her out because she was drunk. Oh my God. I almost started crying myself, just crying tears of embarrassment. My friends was like, "That's your mama?" Yes. And then after everything was over, she left. I guess because she knew she was drunk, she left. Because it's no pictures of her in like my graduation pictures and stuff. There's no pictures of my bio mom, but she did show up to the graduation drunk, pissy ass drunk. I graduated from the same high school twice because my mama was pregnant with me. She graduated in June. I was born in August. She was drunk. Okay? Drunk. But that was her thing though. That was her thing. Okay. So I'm gonna give my mom an excuse. She did lose a baby. She lost my dad. My dad got killed. And she was pregnant with his child, which was my sister. She was pregnant with my sister. And then 3 months after my father was killed, my sister was born. And then 3 months after that, my sister died. Crib death. So my mama, she went through it. She went through it. And I just feel like alcohol was her crutch. You know, she turned to that bottle and she didn't let go. So yeah, she showed up to my graduation pissy ass drunk, dirty, hair uncombed. She looked like she crawled there. And you know, like half of my mind was like she made it, because she used to always say she was coming to stuff and didn't show up. So half of my mind was like, at least she made it. And the other half was like, but she is drunk as hell. She could have kept her ass at home. But my graduation still turned out nice. You know, I didn't let her ruin it. My mom, my adopted mom, got rid of her. They got her together, crying and all, and got rid of her ass. Go home, girl. Go home. We'll send you some pictures. They didn't have Facebook back then, so we had to send actual pictures. We had to have pictures developed and send actual pictures, like in the mail, or somebody had to drop them off at her house. You know, she was just like, my baby, that's my baby. My mother would always get drunk and try to tell the world that I was her child. You know, it was sad. Now that's who I have some grace for. I have grace for her because I know that she was struggling. But she ain't kill nobody. You know, she knew that she was hurting her kids. So my brothers, she gonna hurt them. But me, she gave me to my aunt who adopted me before she hurt me. She hurt my brothers because she just walked away from them one day. She just threw her hands up in the air and was like, I'm done with y'all. And she just left. And she didn't come back for 2 weeks. And when she came back, the police had already picked them up and put them in, gave them to their grandparents on their dad's side. and put my mama in jail because she left her kids for 2 weeks. They're thinking that she had been gone for 2 weeks. My brother was too. He did had no concept of time. I think he was only 7, and he was taking care of an infant and his other brother by himself because my mother had enough. She was sick of their ass. So, yeah, that's my story. But you know what? I ain't mad at nobody. I'm not blaming. I have healed. I have been to therapy. I'm not out here saying these boomers, my mama was a boomer and she messed up my life. And no, I'm an adult. What happened to me as a child, yeah, it was not, there were some times that were not great. But when I became an adult and understand that you can go to therapy and talk to somebody, your insurance is gonna pay for this. All you gotta do is be at them appointments that they set up for you once a week, and you can talk about a lot of this shit and get over it. I was like, what? I can? Yes, I'm gonna do that, and that's what I did. So I don't sit and blame other people for what they did to me as a child because I have forgiven them. I understand why a lot of things that happened to me as a child happened, and I've moved on. It just seems like a lot of you are looking for someone to blame because you don't want to take the necessary steps to heal. I don't want to heal. I just want to blame the person that did what they did to me. And that's a bad way to live because you're always going to be carrying that hurt and pain because you won't put it down. That hurt and pain is your badge of honor. I'm not going to put it down. It happened to me. I'm hurt. I understand that. But I want you to be able to heal from that hurt and pain. I want you to put it down. But if I put it down, what am I going to carry? Love. Pick up something else. Oh my God, remember you had to drop the negatives off at the pharmacy. Girl, yes. Yes. They still have the cameras that you have to develop that you could take to like Walgreens or whatever. Every face has a story to be told. A heap of people see you, but if you know what you are going through, my story will make your hair stand straight up. Girl, I'm only telling you this much of mine. I got some parts that will make the hair stand up on the back of your neck. But that's about my first husband. That I don't really want to talk about. I said I was going to put it in a book. I said, I wasn't going to write a book until my kids were really old enough to, kind of process the truth. Because, it's weird when you have male children, they have a tendency to take the side. Some people be thinking, oh, your boys are always going to take your side. That's not true. That's not true. This is a different generation of boys. These boys will take the side of their daddy, knowing their daddy was the damn abuser. And they still gonna take his side. And I feel like my kids might get upset because their dad is not here to defend himself. But this my truth. This ain't your daddy's truth. This my truth. So, I'm still contemplating. writing my book because we all have, we all have a story. We all have a story to tell. All of us do. No, nobody is getting out of, and that's the thing. Some people think that just because you live in a nice area or you driving a nice car, you getting out this world unscathed. No shit, everybody going through something. The outside look nice. We want the outside to look nice, so people can't tell the bullshit that we going through on the inside. I just happen to be in a very healthy marriage right now. Things, are going good. But there were some dark times. Hey, Tina. I've had some dark times, some sleepless nights. But, by the grace of God, I'm in a good space right now. A good space. The only issue that I really have is my health. As a matter of fact, Sunday I got to go and have a stress test for my heart. So y'all send me some good juju. Um, they don't think it's anything wrong because if they had, they'd have kept me in the hospital. But they had already scheduled the test, and they want to uh, take some pictures of my heart at different angles. And what they do is they give you some medicine because they don't want me to get on the treadmill and do the stress test because of my arthritis. So they give you this medicine that kind of revs the heart up. It simulates exercise, and they see how your heart reacts, how the heart is, pumping blood and stuff while this medicine is going through you. And it's a 2-hour test. So tomorrow I can't have any caffeine. I can't have any chocolate. I can't vape. I can't do nothing. Um, no food after midnight. And the test is Sunday morning. And when I get up Sunday morning, the only thing I can do is take my medicine with a few sips of water. And that's it. Until after the test. So that's the only issue I have is shit like that. You know, I don't have no problems right now. The dark goddess said, "You can take my pillows at night and wring my tears out full of water." Girl, that's how it was for me in the 90s. Same way. Honey, the 90s was just not great for me. The 90s and the early 2000s was kind of a dark, dark time for me. Thanks for the juju, girl. I'ma need it. I mean, I don't think it's gonna be that bad. I've had one before, but this one seems like it's gonna be different though, because I don't remember it being nuclear medicine. I don't remember that the first time I had it. I had one some years ago, and they didn't find anything substantial. They said my heart looked like the heart of a person that was my age. And when they did the CT scan, they said the scan came back heart normal size for a 58-year-old woman. Because I guess our hearts are you know, different sizes for, and my heart looked like it was supposed to. So I don't know. But this, I guess this shows, the CT scan only shows your heart from one angle, I think. I'm not sure. But I think this scan shows it working, shows it actually working and pumping blood and stuff. Like they're going to be able to see the chambers of the heart working. So I don't know. Moth Mama said, I had an MRI today, and oh my God, it was awful. The noises. Girl, girl, that MRI. What did I have it for? My shoulder? I don't know. I don't even remember what it was for, but it must have been for my shoulder. But Lord, have mercy, Jesus. All them different noises, and they gave me the earplugs, and it was going through them. I must have didn't ram them earplugs in my ears far enough. Girl, that noise was going through them earplugs. Oh God, damn! I don't ever want to do that again. When I came up out of that thing, I told a girl. When I got out, I was like dizzy. That shit was bamming and ringing, and I was like, I'm not gonna be able to do this again. They need to do something about that. And it's like the noises be changing tones and sequences and stuff. It sounds like aliens trying to come get you. Yeah, the noise go right. They don't even have to give you them plugs. It don't even make no sense because it was so loud, even with the earplugs. They need to come up with. They need to come up with something else. That shit is ridiculous. It's so loud. It is so pretty on the bay. I mean, this water is so still. I be asking my husband, why don't be people out here on boats? And he was like, the water is really not that deep. Close to where we live, the lane is out farther. The boats don't come up in here. I was like, it looked like it's deep. Shit. He was like, nah, you ain't no boats coming over here. But the water is so beautiful. You know how when the sun just glistens off of the water and it make the water don't even look blue because the sun is like glistening off the water and it's just, sparkling. That's how it looks. And it's just so still. I mean, the wind is blowing a little bit, but it's still nice out here. What's the temperature? Should I make an appointment with the Apple thing, or should I just show up? I probably should make an appointment, huh? It's 73 degrees. It feels good. 73 degrees. That's what I said. Never again, girl. If my body starts to go, just leave me in. Girl, just leave me by a tree, a weeping willow, because I don't want to do that again. That shit almost. You know how like noises like that just make you feel like you going crazy? It almost made me feel like I was gonna lose my mind. Like when she did come in and, okay, Miss Brown, the test is over. When I sat up, it felt like I was dizzy. All that bamming and bam, bam, bam. I was like, Jesus. I had one before. I don't remember it being that loud. I'm like, did they change the machine? Did they, I had asked the lady, did they turn the volume up? Cause this shit was loud as hell. And she was like, no, it's always like that. I was like, no. Cause the first one I had was loud, but it didn't seem as loud as this one. This one seemed like they was like, turn it up louder. Let's see what it do to her. Turn it up. Let's drive this boomer crazy. That shit was loud as hell. Alright, y'all. I done got on y'all nerves. Don't get mad at me and be like, I ain't talking to her no more. She want us to beat our kids. I don't want y'all to beat your kids. But I don't want your kids out here cussing out everybody. When you send your kids to school, I want them to act like they got some sense. Okay? I'm a good grandmother. I don't beat my grandkids. But when I talk to them, you know, I talk to them the way I want them to talk to other people. I don't cuss around my grandkids. My grandkids ain't never seen me smoke. They ain't never seen me drink. They probably think they got the squares. No, Bonnie ain't crazy. She know her grandmama crazy. Now, I haven't cussed at her, but I've cussed in her presence. But that wasn't until she became a teenager that she started to realize, okay, she is crazy. But my other grandkids, they young, they think I'm an angel. So I just want you to raise productive children in the society. And I understand the whole gentle parenting thing, and I agree with that. But along with that gentle parenting, I want you to teach your children morals and teach them to be respectful of other people. And if you're sending them out in public, you need to teach them how to act when they go out so that they not cussing out the lady that's serving their ice cream. Bitch, I told you to put it in a cup. Okay, that's all. Don't be like, I'm sick of almost showing boomer ass. Because y'all quick to call somebody a boomer. Okay, boomer. I was driving down the street. Well, I wasn't driving. I was in the passenger seat. And somebody had a bumper sticker on their car that said, okay, boomer. I wanted to throw something and bust his window. He wouldn't even know why. Really? You got to have a bumper sticker that says, okay, boomer? That's derogatory. You know how y'all be finding fault in everything? Like, it's so many words that you can't say now. I don't think you should be able to say, okay, boomer. Because I get offended. I got dizzy. It didn't last long, but it was enough for me to feel it. It was when I first sat up. Maybe it was, I don't know, all that shit booming in my brain. I'm gonna go, y'all, so I can at least tell my husband bye before he go to work, because he ain't go to work. So I will see you guys later. Did we talk about anything other than, yeah, we did, I guess. I don't know, y'all. I know this video is gonna be demonetized because I cussed. And honey, YouTube is getting super strict about videos and stuff. You can't. You gotta bite your tongue now. You really do. And so I'm pretty sure this video will not be monetized because they be out here getting mad at everything now. So I will see you guys later. I'm thirsty. I'm probably about to call. I'm probably about to order me a soda from 7-Eleven since I can't drink one tomorrow, and we don't have no sodas here. So I got to order me one from 7-Eleven. So I will see you guys later. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here. We will talk again maybe tomorrow. Bye. Oh, sorry, Phoenix. We finna go, girl.